On this episode of Tech Time, we're going to explore your OneDrive cloud storage account. To access your OneDrive account, open the internet and navigate to office365.fwisd.org. Log in with your credentials, ID number at stu.fwisd.org. That's your username, and then use the password that you use to get on to your laptop. When you log into your Office 365 account, it's automatically going to take you into your Mail account. And how you get to your OneDrive is you navigate to your app launcher in the upper left, and then you're going to choose OneDrive from the icons. And if it's the first time you're going into your OneDrive account, it's going to have you set up your OneDrive. So click Next, give it OK, and then it will bring you to a screen that looks kind of like mine. Yours will probably be empty, whereas my OneDrive is full of files already. So what is OneDrive? OneDrive is your cloud storage account through your 365. So this is the place where you should be saving your files instead of saving them on your computer. What some of you have noticed already is that when you try to save files to your computer storage, they're not accessible when you go home. That's because the storage that's on your laptops is tied to the FWISD Wi-Fi. And if you're not on our network, when you go home, you're not going to be able to access those files. So get into the habit of using your OneDrive to store all of your files. Your OneDrive is based in the internet. It is cloud storage. So anywhere that you have internet, you're going to be able to access your OneDrive files. You can store whatever kind of file you want in your OneDrive. Pictures, PDFs, Microsoft files such as Word, Excel, PowerPoint, all of those things can be stored in your OneDrive. Another reason you want to use your OneDrive storage instead of your computer storage is there are sometimes things that happen to your laptop that render it useless. So if it breaks, if it gets lost or stolen, if something happens to your internet connection and we have to reset your laptop, all the files that are on your computer get lost when those things happen. So if you use cloud storage, you're not going to lose your files because they are based in the internet. So let's talk about some ways for you to add files into your OneDrive. Say that you have saved a file to your desktop and you want to get it into your OneDrive. So I have a Word document on my computer that I want to upload into my OneDrive. I'm at my OneDrive page here and I'm going to click Upload. And then I'm going to navigate to where that file is. So that file just happens to be on my desktop. So I'm going to navigate to my desktop and grab the file I want to upload. So here it is, Upload to OneDrive. I titled that file Upload to OneDrive. Your files are going to be titled whatever you titled them. So College Essay 1, Presentation for English, whatever file it is. Open that file and it will then upload, and here it is. Anything that has a green star next to it means that it's a new document. It was uploaded just a few seconds ago and it is now in my OneDrive. So it's okay that I have a copy on my desktop, because if it goes missing, I have a copy in my OneDrive. Now something really cool about this file is that it is a Word file that is saved in my OneDrive. That means that I can edit that file while I'm in my 365. Because 365 is Microsoft based, you can edit Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and OneNote files when you're in your OneDrive. And so let me show you what that looks like. I uploaded that Word document. I'm now going to click on that Word document and it's going to open in Word Online. So here I am in my Word Online, Edit Document, Online, and any changes that I make to this document while I'm working in Word Online are going to save into my OneDrive. So if I take this and I highlight it, I don't have to click Save because it's automatically saving. So it's saving and saved. I am now going to navigate back to my OneDrive, and that file is still here, just moved to the bottom because it alphabetized itself. And if I open this file, I can now see that my changes that I made online are saved to this document. So again, you can do that to any files that you upload that are Microsoft files that are compatible with 365, Word, PowerPoint, Excel, and OneNote. Let's go back to our OneDrive, and this time we're going to create a new document directly in my OneDrive. So new, and I can create these types of documents while I'm in my OneDrive. I can also create folders. So a quick note about folders. You see this message here that says you can drag the files to upload them. So if I went to my desktop and I dragged a file over into my OneDrive, it's going to upload that file. It will not upload folders. So if I took an entire folder from my computer and dragged it over, it's going to give me an error message. One thing that you can do is create new folder and then move the contents of a folder on your computer into the new folder on OneDrive. But don't try to drag a folder from your computer into your OneDrive. It's going to give you an error. While I'm here, I'm going to create a new Excel workbook. And what's awesome about creating this document from my OneDrive directly is that this file is now saved in my OneDrive. I didn't have to file, save as, and put it into my OneDrive. I just created it in my OneDrive, so here it is. File I just made. It's automatic saving, so there is no save button. I'm going to go back to my OneDrive, and file I just made, Excel file, is there. And I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to upload it. It just automatically made itself in my OneDrive. The last thing I want to show you is called the sync feature. So we've created a new document in our OneDrive. We've uploaded to our OneDrive. We're not going to sync. What sync is going to let us do is when I click that button, it's going to create a folder on my computer called OneDrive for Business. And that folder is going to let me put documents into it, and any document I put in that folder is going to automatically upload into my OneDrive. So to show you what that looks like, let me go ahead and delete this upload to OneDrive. Delete it. And I still have that new file called File I Just Made. So you'll see that one when I sync, but we're going to upload the Word document when I sync so that you can see that file move from my computer into my OneDrive. Click that sync button, and this is going to work with your student computers because your student computers have Windows 8. So that's what's going to let this work so seamlessly. As you have Office 2013, Windows 8, that sync button is going to work for you. We're going to sync now, and then you might get some different messages than I do because I've actually already synced my OneDrive. You're syncing your OneDrive for the first time. So it might have you log in. Remember that your login has @stu.fwisd.org in it. Make sure you include that tail on there. And I'm going to sync now. And it's going to get ready to sync. And the next message it'll have for me, it will let me go look at those files as they sync to my computer. For you, you might not have any files yet, so your synced library might look different than my synced library looks. So here I am, I'm going to show my files. And because my library is so big, when I sync it, it takes a little bit of time. And here is that local file on my computer. So if I wanted to get back to this file, if I close this, I just click on my file manager, and then I'm looking for OneDrive for Business. And when I click on that, here are those files, and you can see how these files are the exact same ones that are in my OneDrive, including the file that I made online, File I Just Made. I made this one in Excel online, and it's now on my computer. What's important to know about these files is that this file here is the same file as right here. It's just that I can get to it in two different ways. I can get to it in my 365 account, and I can get to it on my computer. These files are now accessible when I don't have the internet. So remember, 365 OneDrive is on the internet. I can't access those files unless I have an internet connection. These files that are on my computer in my OneDrive for Business account are accessible without Wi-Fi. So if I lost Wi-Fi right now, I would still be able to open these files and make edits to them, and it's going to save it. So as an example, let's open up file I just made. Remember, it's just an empty Excel file. And I'm going to type something right here. Literally something. Now, this is Excel on my computer. So there is a save button, and I definitely need to press that save button. And how I know I'm on my computer is I have no URL bar, so I'm not in the internet, and I can see right here I'm in Excel. So I'm going to File, Save, and it uploads, and you can barely see it when it does it. So look right here, I'm gonna save it again. And you see it happen that quickly. This file has now saved not only to this right here, but also into my OneDrive. So when I open this in my OneDrive, so I'm in the internet right now, I'm in my OneDrive, when I open this, it's going to have that edit that I just made on my computer, something. So the files on your computer are talking to the files in your OneDrive, and they're the same thing. So anytime you have the internet, it's going to update the files in your OneDrive, and that's super awesome. The last thing I wanted to show you is moving a file from your computer into your OneDrive folder on your computer. So let's look at that real quick. We have this file called Upload to OneDrive, and it's no longer in my OneDrive because I deleted it. So I'm going to drag it from my computer into my file manager, OneDrive for Business, on my computer. So here's that file, and you can see it has this little blue icon next to it. It's super tiny, but in a moment it's going to have a green check mark. There it goes. It now has a green check mark. And that green check mark means that this file right here is now uploaded into my OneDrive. So let's go look at my OneDrive. We're going to go back into the internet and pull up my OneDrive account. And I will now have that file upload to OneDrive. So again, those files that are in my file manager, OneDrive for Business, talk to the files that are in my OneDrive Online. And I can now get to these files no matter if I'm at school, if I'm at home, Wi-Fi or no Wi-Fi, I'm going to be able to access these files. The very last thing I want to talk to you about with OneDrive in this episode is this icon on your tile screen. So I'm going to go to my tile screen, and you see this OneDrive here. That OneDrive was installed on your computer when Windows 8 was put on your computer. This OneDrive right here is going to ask you for a Microsoft account, and we don't really have Microsoft accounts. We have Microsoft for Business accounts. So when you try to log into this OneDrive, it's not going to work. So you need to use the OneDrive for Business by going into Office 365, logging in, and syncing. And so this one on your tile screen is not going to function the way that you want it to function. And on the next episode of Tech Time, we're going to explore Windows 8.